Thank you so much for talking to us today. We really do appreciate it. So, for the viewers who may not know the history of all this, can you explain why this moment is so, crucial to the Revolutionary War and really what it's all about right now?
Yeah, so we, Fort Ticonderoga, we're bringing to life Henry Knox's noble train of artillery. And this noble train of artillery, it was a collection of cannons from here at Ticonderoga, Crown Point, and some captured forts to the north of us. And Henry Knox succeeded in taking this 60 tons of artillery, of ordnance and all, in the course of 56 days, all the way from here to Albany, and then to General Washington's camp at Cambridge. And General Washington, I mean, he faced the challenge that began with the shots heard around the world at the Battle of Lexington and Concord way back on April 19th, that the main Continental Army, almost exclusively New Englanders, they assembled on the outskirts of Boston Harbor, dug in on all the hills that surrounded this little isthmus city, as the geography was at the time. And they lacked the big guns to fully drive the British out of this city, to fully liberate Boston. But they also, in a kind of a bigger sense, the Continental Army, it had men, it had plenty of muskets, was in surprisingly good shape, with the exception of a proper train of artillery. And Henry Knox, this 25-year-old Boston bookseller, succeeded in rectifying this. He started the Continental Army further on the road of becoming an institution that could fight for national independence come July 4th, 1776.
Gotcha. Well, can you also explain to us what's new or never before seen artifacts that you will be unveiling? I saw that in your press release, so I was just curious to know, like, what are the new things that are going to be coming out?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so with our Ticonderoga's Treasures program, which will be 2 p.m. on Friday, December 5th, we have many actual letters that Henry Knox himself wrote, as well as artillery objects related to what he was trying to achieve with his noble train of artillery. And also some of the ancillary correspondence from the broader picture, folks who might fade into the background today, but folks like General Philip Schuyler and some of the other officers who were here who made at least the beginning of Henry Knox's journey possible.
That's awesome. That's really cool to see too. I'm sure viewers are going to love to see that all unfold seriously.
It's a one-of-a-kind experience, yeah.
That's awesome. So I was gonna so speaking of experiences, when people do visit this weekend, what are the experiences that they expect to see firsthand?
Yeah, so what we're trying to recreate with our Saturday, December 6th, Noble Train Begins Living History event is what you would have seen here at Ticonderoga, beginning really with the morning of December 6th, right through December 10th, 1775, as Henry Knox worked with the garrison of Ticonderoga, almost exclusively New York soldiers, like I'm dressed up as now, uh, to select, from a whole host of cannons, prepare them for their journey, which included the cleaning of the guns. One of the manners called scaling. We actually used gunpowder to blast out all of the rust and stuff that built up inside. And also the sheer physical effort of lifting cannons that could weigh, multiple tons and do it all with, manpower magnified through a whole host of mechanisms, and then transport them with livestock, with oxen, with horses. And at least this particular segment of Henry Knox's noble train of artillery, one done with vehicles like, wagons and carts, as the ground didn't have a ton of snow on it, roads weren't too bad, and he just had to make the 3 miles up to Lake George. We want to immerse folks in what it would be like to be here 250 years ago to the day.
That's really awesome. Will visitors be able to interact or be able to participate in any of these activities?
Well, we encourage visitors to absolutely, talk with any of our living history participants.
Mhm.
I like to think we're a friendly bunch. We are super excited about the history that we are bringing to life here. So yes, visitors should experience the smells of salted pork cooking in a pot over the fire along with peas. They should come on out and follow along with our horses and oxen as they move vehicles around Try actually pulling on the ropes and levers to make an artillery engine function. Visitors can get a real visceral experience of this moment in its 250th anniversary.
That's great. And is there like a moment that you don't want visitors to miss, like a must-see type of moment?
Any of our scaling demonstrations, which will be at 11 o'clock, 12:30, and 2 o'clock. These where we'll be hauling out a whole batch of cannons, scaling them with gunpowder on the inside. It's also an opportunity, we will have reproduction shot in these various sizes that visitors can really handle. And I'll tell you what, war becomes super real when you hold a 6-pound cannonball in your hand. The
Yeah.
struggle for American freedom was a very real one.
Mhm. Absolutely. I bet that is a very real moment right there, holding something like that. Absolutely. Um, so, with the weather right now, having a snowy December, just, in early December at that,
Yeah.
how does the environment kind of help tell the story?
I think so. I mean, I'm a winter fan, even outside of history. But there is something there's a stark beauty to seeing our Ticonderoga landscape in winter. A beauty where you will see Mount Defiance with a bed of snow underneath the bare trees sticking out, or see Lake Champlain with ice creeping out from the shore out into the middle of the lake. Not only is it beautiful in its own way, it is also a picture of what it was like to be here in 1775. We know by diaries and letters, it was winter. No way around it. It was already winter here. And their standards of, what's a mild winter is very different than what we think of as mild today.
Mhm. Yeah. So with, the whole winter aspect of the whole thing right now, how do you prepare for a winter style reenactment like this? Like, is there special preparation that goes into this or?
Sure, sure. I mean, luckily, there's a whole playbook from 1775 of how you deal with winter. It starts from the feet up. Footwear, such as shoes or extra size larger, allow you to put on multiple pairs of stockings, heavy yarn stockings, like grandma used to knit. Heavy wool breeches, wool drawers, and on top of that, big overcoats. It was cold back then. They had to prepare for cold. Another thing that we've actually make here right in front of visitors are, of course, mittens, which is something that seems like a completely frivolous thing in the middle of July. But folks back then, they knew winter comes and you're going to need mittens. And, they made for, at least some protection for soldiers. And we have made sure that we've followed our 1775 due diligence to get folks ready.
That's great. Yeah, so I mean, what does this event overall mean for the community and just, you know, on your guys' end in the community end?
Yeah, I mean, the Noble Train begins. This is the kickoff of what is a 300-mile journey to now in 2025 into 2026. This is a series of programs that all starts here, but will continue on through Saratoga, down through Albany, across the Massachusetts border, and all the way to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and into a series of programs that will culminate with Evacuation Day, March 17th in Boston. And we for Ticonderoga, we're eager to be a part of that. But really, this moment right now of the Noble Train, in some ways, this is already the pivot point into the story of 1776. So much of our national thought about, the independence, centers on July 4th, 1776. But really, the fight for American independence and really the Revolutionary War, this is an 8-year arc. And here at Fort Ticonderoga, this is in some ways the pivot for us into our 2026 real-time revolution programs, where we'll get to tell the story of what happened in our whole region, our whole community, the Northern Department, as an American army retreated back here to Ticonderoga in July, and then had to figure out how to stop the British Army here. One of America's greatest triumphs in the earliest days of our fight for independence.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stuart, I gotta ask, how many people are involved in bringing these reenactments to life?
Oh, well, I mean, it's if we include all of the volunteers, our awesome reenactors, our staff here, it's hundreds.
Mhm.
And if we extend that out into all of 2026 with our programs, it's thousands. Which is in some ways it's kind of wonderful that as we bring things to life in real time here, we end up with, in order to achieve, even a portion of some of these historical feats, we end up with numbers, roughly similar to what actually took to do aspects of this back in 1775 as a full-time job.
Wow. Yeah, no, so this all sounds like a great, like very realistic too, like kind of a reenactment as well, which is really cool to hear and see. Um, but also, what challenges do you face in like preserving these artifacts from the 18th century?
Sure, sure. Well, I've actually got an awesome artifact right here. This is half of a French 13-inch mortar, and it's half of one that Henry Knox actually took to Boston. It's among the 14 mortars that were on his list of artillery they took in that train. And for something like this, that is iron, and an awful lot of these artillery pieces, they are iron. The iron has the obvious challenge of rusting, and so there's a whole host of uh, steps that our collections and curatorial department do to make sure that iron objects like this and shot and all these things that survive that they're preserved not just now but for generations to come. It's an important it's a legacy of stewardship that we carry on, and we carry on for our posterity, so generations long after us can come and experience these great stories and these great objects that were witness to these stories as well.
That's awesome, Stuart. And thank you so much again for taking the time and speaking with us and going over this reenactment. It sounds like it's going to be a great time.
We're
Could you let
we're
Yes,
we are
sorry.
super excited.
Absolutely. That's great. Could you let us know one more time about dates and times?
Yes, sir. Our Ticonderoga's Treasures program is going to be here at Fort Ticonderoga Friday, December 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. Registration for it is online on our website. Our Living History event here on site is going to be Saturday, December 6th. It's from 10 to 4. Tickets are available online and at our booth. We also have at 11 a.m. on Sunday, December 7th, we will recreate a section of the Noble Train of Artillery going from the Lachute River up towards Lake George, what was called the Portage. We invite folks to meet us at the corner of Montcalm and Champlain Avenues at 11 a.m. on Sunday.
Sounds like a full weekend of activities. Thank you so much, Stuart. That's
Yes,
all
sir.
the questions I have for you. And yeah, thank you so much for doing this today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.